longer I confine him within the premise that he is only there for the Shia, and he's only going to save the Shia, and he's only going to liberate the Shia from killings and butcherings, I have forgotten about the rest of the world and the trials that they are undergoing. I've forgotten that today, 60 million people around the world are displaced from their homes. 60 million refugees living in tents, seas of tents, basements, school floors, church floors, masjid floors. But I've limited him to just saving me and my people. I've limited him and made him as limited as I am. A story, an event that took place around the world recently. And again, I want you to think about this in light of who this individual is and open up our minds to the genuine human nature of the task at hand for this grand Imam, alayhi salam. In 2010, this occurred at the very end, in December 29th, this news broke. And of course, therefore, it carried into early 2011. You may know that just south of the border here in the United States of America, just south of Texas, there is a small town in Mexico called Guadalupe, or Guadalupe. I don't know how to pronounce it very well. Guadalupe? Yes? Small town of a few thousand people. This particular town that is along the border of northern Mexico is famous within the news, especially very recently, because it is a staging point for many of the drug traffickers and drug gangs. And they, when they send drugs into the States, when they send drugs into Mexico, this town is riddled, unfortunately, with gangs, drug warlords and such. By the time the end of 2010 came, the drug warlords and the gangs had been overrunning this city so much that the entirety of the police force had either quit, asked for a transfer and been moved, or been killed by the drug crime. The reason why this story broke on the 29th of December 2010 was because one last police officer was present within that city. One. She, a woman, had said, "I don't care if I'm the last police officer in this town. I don't care. I'm going to serve and make this place a safer town for my people." Imagine that. Firstly, she should be praised for her bravery. That everyone else had been killed or kidnapped, and she was the last. Unfortunately, what do you think happened to her? On the 29th of December 2010, she was kidnapped and not to be found again. The news broke that that morning there was no police officer left in that entire town. Now imagine, why do you have police here? Driving, walking, why? Because it gives you security, doesn't it? It makes you feel a sense of security to know that there are cars patrolling, that they're only a phone call away, and so on and so forth. Imagine a town. Imagine you as a parent. Imagine you as a child growing up in a town which is riddled with gang warfare, drug kingpins, to the extent that there is not even a single police officer left within that town. How would you feel, safe or otherwise? Now think about this. When the awaited Savior of humanity comes, if I confine him to a Shia-centric understanding, and he is just there for us, just there to liberate us, just there to save us, just there to give us our fiqh and our issues, and I will not see him in the wider world. The reality is, all of this devastation that is taking place, it is taking place around the world. He must come to you and I as much as he must come to that community in Guadalupe, in Mexico. He is as much an Imam for them as he is for you and I. No less by one iota whatsoever.